morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Welcome to the Bronx Queens Bros podcast, better known as the BQB podcast. I'm Big B. We got Jack B. No Big D this time around. He's busy up there in Boston, kicking the Red Sox behind because he says they freaking suck. Jack, how you doing out here?
Doing great. Sad we're missing Dave, unfortunately, but you know what? We're gonna bring the energy. We're gonna bring it today. Have a great episode, short little episode for the viewer. For the viewers, we will not disappoint. Let's get right into it, V.
No, we're always pumping out episodes here, ladies and gentlemen. But this episode is sponsored by one of the best kept secrets in northern New Jersey. Engineering and Design Concepts, a small company doing big things. They specialize in product development, manufacturing, and test equipment. If you or anyone you know need assistance in that field, they are the company you need to contact. The link to their website will be in the description below. Now, Jack, I don't know if you watched any Mets baseball recently. Hasn't been pretty, and it honestly hasn't gotten any prettier. They just lost a 3-game series to the Cincinnati Reds in Cincinnati, and they literally scored 6 runs, 2 runs, and 0 runs in a 3-game series against, pretty bad, Hunter Green's a pretty good pitcher. And then they had a bullpen game today. Today is Thursday, and they had a day game, which they lost 5-0. It was brutal. I mean, first game of the series, Scherzer gets scratched, so that was my birthday. I had Alonso hitting a home run, which was nice that he hit. But David Peterson gets to call up again, maybe trying to prove his spot. And, he got sent down already. Come up, if he has a good outing, he could get some eyes on him again. Nope, he shit the bed. He's just looked horrible all year. I don't even know where to go. The only real positive thing out here was Francisco Alvarez had a 2-home-run game, first game series, and today he had 2 hits. Both went to right field, which is nice. He's really he can really spray the ball. His framing ability is really, really good. And, he caught all 3 games. It was a day game after a night game. He still caught. He's 21 years old. He's younger than me, Jack. He can definitely catch as much as he wants. It looks like he's the real deal. He's batting .385 the last 10 games. He's looking legit out there. Mets offense still has no thump in it, though. I mean, let's go to Marte. Just looks horrible again. Lindor, unless he's swinging righty, as a lefty, he looks really bad, which is weird. I have hope that Lindor's going to really turn around. He still makes decent contact, I got to be honest. I think there's some hard luck in here. Nimmo seems to be coming around. Alonso's right now, home run or nothing. But, whatever. That's what you get of a power guy. And then, Vogelback gets on base. Doesn't drive the ball much, though. But, Canna, Guillorme, Escobar, McNeil's struggling a little bit too, honestly. Nothing's clicking. I really need the Mets to call up Ronnie Mauricio or Mark Vientos. This team needs some type of juice from somewhere. I mean, the pitching's not great. Their hitting's not great either. So one of these sides needs to click. But the one bright side on this whole series was watching Justin Verlander dominate the Cincinnati Reds. 7 innings, 1 run, 7 strikeouts. Still, he pumped 97 in the 7th inning when he was at 100 pitches. He may be 40 years old. This guy's still as good as advertised. I think he's gonna have a great rest of the season. Just very good to see him. In a time where the team is spiraling, he came up and showed that this is why I'm the ace. This is why you guys paid me all this money. So that was great. But, Jack, I'm really at a loss of words right here. Mets have lost 5 straight series, 4 of which are from arguably very bad teams.
Yeah. I'll quickly go through the Yanks because they played the A's, and then we'll get right back into the Mets because I think we could, we'll have more to say about them.
Yeah.
Yanks swept the A's. They played well. I was happy about that. And Aaron Judge came back. Won the first game 7-2, second game 10-5, third game 11-3. The Bats woke up finally. I've been waiting. And Volpe had a grand slam yesterday. Yesterday was a great day for the offense. So really not much to say. I'm not too happy about it because we are facing the Oakland Athletics, who are a joke, and we're still in last place, unfortunately. But big series coming up against the Rays, which we'll get to eventually. But Yeah, V. Let's talk about the Mets a little bit more because I saw this stat on Twitter. I'll read it for you. So the Mets are 18-20. They've played by record of the team so far. They've played the easiest schedule in baseball. Now in June, they're going to play 3 games against the Blue Jays, 3 games against the Braves, 2 games against the Pirates, 2 games against the Yanks, 3 against the Cardinals. They've underperformed, obviously. 3 games against the Astros, 3 games against the Phils, and 4 against the Brewers. So that's tough, man. I mean, it's crazy to think, but if they continue this type of play, the season could get away from them, and that's
Very quickly.
it's kind
All
of
right.
crazy to think. I mean, just looking at, I mean, I know Starling Marte. We were talking about in the last episode. Just looking at his baseball savant page, I mean, this guy's not hitting the ball hard at all. Like his average exit velocity is 27th percentile. He's not even barreling the ball up. He's even his defense has taken a significant hit. He's 8% or in the 8th percentile for outfielder jump. That's horrible. He's turned into a below average outfielder so far this season. I mean, the only thing he's really got is the arm strength, but besides that, V, I mean, kind of shocking what we're seeing from Marte.
Oh, I mean, I didn't see this drop coming. I mean, I said it last episode. I'm very convinced he's not playing healthy, and he's
Mm-hmm.
playing through something because the team's struggling. But right now, that is not what we need. If he's hurting, he's got to take a step back. But if he's not hurting, I'm watching him swing. He looks lost. Like, even when he struggled last year, early on, I feel like he struggled for a couple weeks. He would never get frustrated, or like he would still hit the ball kind of hard at times. Like he had 2 hits in the series, both were infield hits. Wasn't driving the ball at all. Defensively, I feel like he's taking bad routes to the ball. I honestly said once they decided Nimmo was a center fielder, Marte should have went to left. I know he's got the arm straight for right, but it's too much ground for him to cover in most ballparks, and he's lost a step. And listen, he's still would steal bases first 2 weeks of the season. He's got that ability. He's got great jumps. Like he knows how to steal bases.
Yeah.
But now he's not getting on base, so now he can't even do that. He's not contributing to the team much. And in the outfield, like every time the ball's hit to him, I feel like he's not seeing the ball. I don't know what's going on. I mean, it's frustrating because the Mets finally dropped him in the order, batting 6th, which is still a pretty big spot in the lineup if you want to
Yeah.
ask me. I would honestly put him 9th. Let him flip the order until he gets his shit together because he's looking really, really bad. And I'd rather have him and Nimmo back to back in the lineup, but in a reversed order where Marte's 9th. Because having him as your 9 hitter would be really good. And then as soon as he starts to hit, you move him back up. I don't know, because he's batting like 215, and he's batting like
Yeah.
150 the past 2.5 weeks. It doesn't look like he's just slumping because he's not driving the ball. Like even today, he had a hanging slider and he let go with one hand, which he never does on a swing, and he popped up to left. Like
Hmm.
it's a pitch you have to drive, even right, left. I don't care where you drive it, but it's really bad. I'm a little worried about Marte right
Yeah. I mean, I would be a little bit too. I think, what we touched on last episode and what you mentioned is probably the case where he's definitely playing through something. And I don't know if it's kind of getting to his head where he's kind of frustrated and, he's just not locked in 100%. Um, it's just tough. It's tough to see that. I know he is a little bit up there in age. He's 34, but yeah, I mean, I said it last episode. He was a well above average hitter last year. You don't really expect this much of a drop off to like, one of the worst hitters in the league, which is basically what he is right now. And what you said about Lindor, definitely true. He's definitely getting unlucky. He's still hitting the ball hard. He's barreling the ball, you know, a good amount. And yeah, it seems like Lindor is still, at least baseball savant, saying that he's still hitting the ball hard. So maybe some bad luck for Lindor. But as far as the Mets go, I mean, I think there's definitely some bright spots. Like like you brought up, Francisco Alvarez definitely looks like the real deal at only 21 years of age. I mean, the guy looks pretty good so far, and definitely has a promising career. Brett Beatty as well looks pretty good. He's
He struggled the past series and a half,
yeah,
but up until then he was swinging well. It looks like they're adjusting to him a little bit. It's looking like they're pitching him with off speed away, and he isn't able to drive it to left. But any fastball he hits, it's like at 110 miles an hour.
yeah.
He still has hard hit. Like he's still hitting the ball hard right now. It's just maybe he's a little unlucky too. But they are getting him out a little bit right now at the off speed.
You could just tell though I don't know, he looks like he belongs. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of just like
100%.
he looks like a professional hitter. Kind of reminds me of what's his name? Oh my God, the guy that's on the Giants down that the Mets had. Conforto. Kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just when he came up for the Mets, kind of just seemed like a pro with that left-handed swing. Was kind of
very
swing.
Natural.
Yeah,
very
right?
natural.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
And on the pitching front, it's been pretty bad. I mean, Tyler McGill hasn't been great, but I mean, it's like, what can you expect from some of these guys? Peterson's been horrendous. Senga's been, I would say, above average. But he's still.
If everyone was doing their part, Senga's been doing his part. I think
as a number 3.
I feel like if I came into this like at the start of the season and you go, hey, after 7 starts, this is Senga's numbers, I'd be like, I'll take it. Yeah. I think I would, but seeing what everyone else Verlander's only made 2 starts,
right?
And Scherzer's made a few starts, but it's really been up and down. Like there's a lot more downs there. And Quintana hasn't made a start. Carrasco was garbage for like 2 starts, and now he's on the IL.
Is there an update on Carrasco?
Carrasco just made a rehab start in Double-A like 2 days ago.
Okay.
I think they said they want one more rehab start for him, and I guess maybe he'll be ready. I mean, listen, he looked really bad before he hit the IL, so hopefully it was injury related because there was no bite on his slider, no dip on his splitter. So
yeah, I think what you need at a guy like Carrasco is just to eat innings, right? So you're not having to bring up David Peterson, who he's just clearly overmatched. It seems
he's hittable. He's hittable. Like that's the funny part. That's Quintana as well. Quintana and Carrasco, honestly, are supposed to be our innings eaters. Quintana before this year has made like 30 starts, like 11 years in a row.
I know.
And like now he's not coming back till like July. Yeah. Carrasco's out. It's just like all over the place.
Well, I feel like if baseball's taught me anything in the last, pretty much my lifetime, it's that you get hot at the right time, anything can happen. You guys can get healthy. Your top guys at the pen have been good, right? So it's not like
Robertson and Ottavino have been nails. They've been nails.
And Drew Smith as well. He's been pretty solid.
I said it. I think Drew Smith was going to be a dark horse for this bullpen, and he's been it.
Yeah, and I mean, you still got Rayleigh on the IL. He should be coming back. He's a solid lefty. I know he's struggled a little bit, but he's a solid guy. But
he is. He's definitely serviceable.
I think it's just what we expected, or maybe not what we expected, but what some fans expected of the gaping hole of Diaz, right, as the closer and all the money that you gave him. It hasn't really been the problem at all, right?
No.
That's been the Mets' problems in the past of blowing games. The bullpen's been bad, thinking back to a couple of years ago in that terrible Mets bullpen. But, this bullpen's been pretty good. You can't really complain about it.
No, I what's funny is I really can't blame the bullpen. Even today, like Senga allowed 5 runs in 5 innings. Bullpen 4 shutout innings. Like, you can't get mad. By the way, I kind of really like this. Dominic Leone signed with the Mets. He pitched with the Giants.
Yeah.
I really like that pickup. I'm shocked nobody picked him up. He had a minor league deal with, I think it was the Twins. It could be Rangers. The Rangers. Minor league deal with the Rangers. Rangers never called him up. He had an out in his contract, and the Mets picked him up, league minimum. I mean, like
he's like 31.
He's a great arm. If you look at his numbers, I had to look him up, but he actually is a really good arm, and that's a great pickup. And he's looked pretty good as a Met. Besides the game in Detroit that Ottavino blew, but he had not pitched in like 7 or 8 days at that time.
Right.
And honestly, if Marte makes the catch on a bloop hit that had a 90% catch probability,
Yeah.
that does not happen. I'm just going to point that out.
Yeah.
So the bullpen, I can't get mad at it. It's just they're taxed. There's guys who are pitching in this bullpen that should never be pitching if our starting rotation could pitch more than 4 or 5 innings every day.
Right.
So it's just, I can't get mad at the bullpen because they honestly have been as good as I can imagine them, especially the 8th and 9th and even the 7th. Like when Verlander pitched the 7th and you had Ottavino and Robinson come in, I was like, this game's probably done. Like these guys are that good. So I mean, I'd love to see more from the offense, but for me, all this problem really relies on the starting rotation. There's a lot of problem with the offense now, but I think the offense has put too much pressure on themselves where everyone's trying to hit an 8-run home run, and they just can't do that. They just can't.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think we touched on this maybe 2 episodes ago. It almost has that snowball effect, right? That, it becomes very pressure-filled when your offense hasn't produced in a while, and, you don't know if this is going to be a good outing from a starter, and you don't really, it's that uncertainty and unpredictability about the game that, it kind of makes you, a little bit nervous up there, a little bit anxious, to get the big hit, move a guy over, and you kind of put too much pressure on yourself. And I think that's kind of shown. But, the Mets got a lot of grief for giving Brandon Nimmo that big contract, but he's looked like the Mets' best player this season. He looks outstanding. So
can't get mad. And plus, he plays good defense on top.
Plays great defense. Yeah, absolutely.
So like he's made the Mets look real good by giving him what they did.
Yeah.
And you know what? I can't complain what I've gotten from Alonso. Guy's leading the league now in home runs. Guy just mashes the ball. He drives and runs. If there's an RBI situation, you want this guy up because even if it's just get a fly ball, get a sac fly in, he does it. He won't strike out in those spots. He does strike out a lot, but not in those spots. He draws his walks. I can't complain. A Lindor, like I said, it's like, it's not there. McNeil is the big guy here for me, as he's not doing exactly what McNeil always does, and right now they got him batting third. This lineup needs a big shift, and I keep saying it. These 2 guys in AAA need to come up. Like, Marte needs a 10-day break on the IL. Give him the phantom IL. Just say it's neck spasms for all I give a crap. Mm-hmm. He looks horrible. Whether he needs to mentally clear his mind for 10 days or physically, he needs a break, in my opinion. And not a day off. He needs a couple series. Let him rest up. Let him come back healthy, and maybe he'll catch fire. You need to call up, dude, Ronnie Mauricio every night. Mark Vientos every night. It's like 2 for 4 with 4 RBIs, a home run, a double. Every single night. And I really don't give a flying fuck about defense right now because in the more important spots, the Mets have really good defensive people. Alvarez is like above average at the catching. Lindor's fantastic. Nimmo's fantastic. McNeil's very good whether he's at second or left.
Yeah.
And even Beatty's been really good at third. So Mauricio, for me, has to get the call up. He's got to play second. You put McNeil in left or in right, however you want to do it. And then Vientos has to come up. And listen, Vogelback's gotten a lot of shit. The guy's got he's like a 407 OBP.
Yeah.
He's actually been pretty good. The problem I have with him, though, is he's like a leadoff hitter who's just slow as fuck.
Yeah.
And like if the lineup was doing everything and clicking, Vogelback's a very nice piece. But because it's not, and Vogelback is not the guy to carry an offense, that's why he's getting a lot of shit. And I'm honestly going to give him a lot of that shit because you're a DH. You're a big boy. You got to, fuck walking. Have a 325 OBP.
Yeah.
Hit me tanks. Driving runs. You know how many times it's a 3-1 count, and this guy takes a meatball down the middle?
Yeah.
It's so hard to watch. Like, Joey Votto, when he first came up with the Reds, actually, he used to do that all the time. Remember, he used to get a lot of shit for not driving the ball?
Yeah.
That's what I see. He's 2 home runs on the year. Like, you're a DH. We need power. We don't need you to be like a scrappy player, which
Yeah,
he
yeah.
is. And listen, he's a good player, and like he's a good player on a winning club. But right now, because he can't even play defense, he gotta like be on the bench, be a nice pinch hit opportunity late in the game, and walk, and then
Yeah.
pinch run for him.
Yeah.
He's got use, but he cannot be the starting DH for this team, in my opinion.
No.
He just can't.
And if they're worried about Mauricio's defense at second, then DH Mauricio.
Mauricio.
And Vientos is a corner outfielder.
Vientos, he's played first and third mainly, and then like left.
Okay.
So he's mainly DH to AAA though.
Okay. I mean, Can has been pretty bad as well.
Oh, Canna's been just Canna's not getting on base. Canna's not playing good defense. Canna's not driving the ball. It's
really bizarre. I mean, these are guys that mainly have produced their entire careers. If we're talking about Marte Canna, and I mean, I don't know. Say what you want about Lindor, and I know I've been critical of him, but the guy's got a 113 OPS plus. You know, he's
still above average, and he's struggling. So if you're struggling and you're above average, for me, I'll take it any day of the week. So I don't know. It's I have no words. The Mets have a 4-game series now against the Nationals, and like it's so weird to say if the Mets lose this series, if they lose it, like let's say they only win 1 of the 4, I'm going to draw the alarm. I think because they're 2 games under 500 already, and we're hitting middle of May. Mm-hmm. It's still a tad early, but you just said the schedule in June is tough. Yeah. And if you go 500 in June, I'll probably take it. But that means you got to get above 500 before June hits. Because then come July, you could still be under 500 then if you struggle for the rest of May and go 500 in June.
Yeah.
I'm not liking that. I need them to get hot. I honestly, I won't be that content with the split against the Nationals. I need to see them win 3 out of 4. I need to see them fucking sweep these fucking Nationals. But they really need to win 3 out of 4. Like, they have to. Verlander's supposed to start a game. Scherzer is supposed to start one if he is good to go. That's why they haven't announced a starter yet for any game. It's because apparently Scherzer will pitch. McGill is supposed to pitch, and then Lucchesi is supposed to pitch. I don't know in what order. Those are the 4 starters that are supposed to pitch. Listen, Lucchesi hasn't looked horrible. Not bad. He's a 6-7 guy in a rotation. But against a, lackluster offense, the Nationals, I got to kind of hope. McGill has owned the Nationals in his career. I hope that stays the trend. And if Scherzer and Verlander pitch, you got to, in my mind, Scherzer and Verlander are must-wins, and just split between Lucchesi and McGill starts. And you win the fucking series. It's that simple. So,
yeah, I think what I alluded to last episode, if they lose this series or they get swept, I think the Firebuck talks are going to definitely start.
Speaking of which, did you see he finally got thrown out after I called him out for never getting thrown out?
Oh, really? Did he? Today?
Oh, no, he got thrown out. I don't know if you watched. It was the first game of the series. Actually, we were at Topgolf. That's why we didn't watch.
Oh.
So it was what was the situation? I think it was like a slow ground ball or something, or someone was trying to steal or something along that lines. They threw to second. Lindor went to go field it and put the tag on, but the Reds player slapped the glove out of slapped Lindor's glove on his slide, and then they didn't call an interference, what should have been called. And then Buck's like, yo, why can't we challenge this? And apparently it's not part of the rules. So Buck's like, all right, how come no umpire saw him slap Lindor's glove? And he got livid and he got tossed. And then 2 or 3 runs ended up scoring after that. And then the Mets ended up losing the game by 1. So it's these little things that are just, not catching a break here. But it was nice to see Buck get thrown out for once, actually.
Yeah, that's a good call by you. But, just in the New York media, it's just all you're going to hear, if they lose 3 out of 4, if they get swept, I mean, that, oh my God, that would be.
It's going to be something, because I wonder then, though, something that no team has ever done is what Cohen can do, which is just kick players off the team no matter the contract. So if I wonder if like come early July, maybe not even that long, come June, like mid to late June, and we're tickling around 500, and someone's not performing, I think Cohen's just gonna go to Epdog and be like, "Yo, off the team, go get me someone else. Like, get your resources and find a guy to trade for, and fuck the farm system. Like, get me someone." Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what to say here because like it's just like this is amazing to me that like Canna, like in left field right now, and McNeil's doing his like I got to give McNeil credit. He's playing every day. It's either second, left, or right. Like, and he's playing still solid. But he's a guy. I think he'll be better suited staying in one position and just let him do his thing.
Right.
And I feel like McNeil should be the 2-hitter. Lindor should be the 3-hitter. But that's my opinion. Well, it's okay. We won't get into that top because McNeil's a perfect opposite field hitter.
Yeah.
Whatever. But whatever. And I'd rather have Lindor more RBI opportunities. He's like 6th in the league in RBIs still as a struggling player. So like, he gets his hits when he needs to get his hits. So I don't know. I need to see some. The Mets keep struggling. I'd be very hard to see though that they still don't go for it at the trade deadline. Like I don't think we'll ever see a sell.
No.
But like I wonder then how desperate do they get? Like do they start sell like do they just start trading away these in Mauricio and Vientos? Like do they trade these guys to get some guys who can like you gotta wonder. You gotta wonder. Like I hope they pick it up so then we don't have to have like these big talks here, but this is something hard to see.
Yeah, I mean they could definitely use another power hitter. I mean we both said that before the season started. Like someone else in the middle of the order, a home run hitter. But, I don't know. If you just read the guys, like the list of names, you'd think, like they performed similar to last year, but it just hasn't been the same result. And
the Mets ran out the same offense as last year, and it's not working. So, my opinion, if it like, I said it, the Mets were missing some pieces. Like, they're missing a piece. They're missing another power bat, and they weren't going to get it from Cannon and Marte. But as long as they kept doing what they did last year, it was going to be okay. But they're not doing it. So now it's really bearing down on this offense.
Yeah.
So it's tough. I mean, like, as much as I want to, Beatty and Alvarez, if they didn't come up, I don't even know where this offense would be then. Yeah. Like, and, Beatty's only batting like 260 and Alvarez batting like 250. That just goes to say for how bad this offense has been.
Man. It's been rough. Let's pivot to some over-unders.
So let's acknowledge that I'm wearing a Yankees hat here.
I didn't even notice. It just fits so well, V. It looks so good on you. I didn't even.
And I'm shitting on the Mets so much that it just looks like I'm a Yankee fan at this point. Jesus Christ.
That's funny. Yeah. So Dave sent us some over-unders. So we're gonna read them out. I'll read the Yankees ones he sent me real quick, V. So Aaron Judge over under 3.5 RBIs in the 4 games in Tampa.
Ooh, that's good. That's a good line.
I'm watching the game right now, 0-0. So he's done nothing so far this game.
Okay. It's tough. It's a tough line. Good bullpen, good pitching for the Rays. RBI is situational. 3.5, won a game. I'm going to take the under. I'm going to take the under on this.
Okay. I'm going to roll with the over. Judge got 3 hits last game. I'm hoping maybe he found a stroke a little bit, even though he's already 0 for 2 here in the 5th. So I'm hoping maybe, or if not today, maybe tomorrow against the lefty. Different look. Maybe he'll fare better. So just going to roll with the over. Hopefully he steps it up a little bit.
Well, hey, one 3-run home run, you're good to go.
Yeah, true.
So I'll go off with the Mets one here.
Sure.
Simple. Alonso home runs at 0.5.
Oh, I think I got to go over here. I mean, Pete's just been mashing and striking out, which he usually does, but I don't know. He could really hit him, so I'm going to go with the over.
Hey, listen, Alonso is our MLB home run leading guy, and I think he will. He's actually killed the Nationals in his career too, so I think he's going to keep doing it. I won't be shocked if he gets more than one. I'm going to take the over easily.
All right, another Yankees one. Garrett Cole over under 7.5 Ks versus this pesky Rays lineup who lit him up last time. What are we thinking on that?
Cole 7.5 Ks, huh? These Rays are just so good, man. Oh, and 7 strikeouts. Like, listen, he can go. No, he's got to get 8 strikeouts. That means even if he goes 7 and 8 strikes out 7, that's a good start.
Yeah.
Man, I'm going to take the under just because the Rays are just so good, man.
Yeah, I'm going to roll with the under too. The Rays just kind of, I don't know, they fight. They don't really strike out much as a group. And I don't know, they seem to own Garrett. So, I don't know.
Right.
I'm just hoping for a quality start, you know? Hoping for a quality start.
That'd be nice. It'd be an improvement from last game for sure. So, as I said, some starters haven't been announced, so this one should happen. Tyler McGill should be pitching in one of these games coming up against the Nationals. So I'm going to go to him because I think he's the most likely to start in the series. I'm going to have Tyler McGill here for 6.5 strikeouts against the Washington Nationals.
Tyler McGill, 6.5. Oof, the Nationals are pretty bad. I'm going to roll with my boy Tyler and take the over.
Big trip. Tyler McGill is getting the over from Big V as well. Oh, we love the support out here. We're not supporting Garrett Cole, but we're supporting Tyler McGill. And then the last one. This is pretty interesting here, Jack. I got to admit to Big D here. This is a pretty good one. There's a good chance it could end in a tie. But who will get more wins in the upcoming 4-game series, Mets or the Yankees?
Ooh, this is tough. Just because, although the Mets are playing a bad opponent in the Nationals, Mets have looked god awful, right? We both established that. Yankees have looked pretty good recently. They're getting some guys back and healthy, but they're playing the best team in baseball in the race.
Yep.
So for that reason, I'm gonna roll with the Mets. I know it's kind of crazy, but
wow,
I don't know. The Rays are just a great team, and it's the Nationals, man. The Mets have to win at least 3. I'm thinking the Yankees split. The Mets. They have to win 3 games, Fee. They have to.
No, I'm not even arguing this. Because if they win 3, I think they go back to 500. My math's correct. Yes. They win 3 out of 4. They end up back to 500. And you go from there. You get back to 500. You play winning baseball for the rest of the season. We're all happy. Right?
Right.
So, with that reason, I may be wearing a Yankees hat. I am rolling with my New York Mets. I need the Mets to win this series. I said I'm not even going to be content with the split because I just said Verlander and Scherzer's starts need to be must win, and you split between Tyler McGill and Lucchesi starts. So they need to win 3 out of 4, and they just lost 2 out of 3 against the Nationals like a week ago. They need to beat them. They're away. They're at Nationals Park, I believe, but they need to fucking win. They need to win.
Yeah, man. I'm with you. Hopefully, both teams can make it an enjoyable weekend for the both of us because
that'd be great.
We know our happiness is dependent on a bunch of guys on TV hitting the ball far. So,
man, isn't that something?
Yeah, right.
Isn't that something? Well, Jack, anything else?
That's all I got, V.
That's all I got. Because if I keep talking about the Mets, I may start crying. That's all I gotta say. Well, if you guys don't already do, Jack, we're on the Twitter.
We're on the Twitter at the BQB podcast. Check us out. Answer Big D's Big Odds. Yeah, hit us up. Tweet at us. Let's go.
We also got Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I don't even know what else we got. We got a lot of stuff. And you can follow us all on that at BQB Podcast. You can also listen to us wherever you listen to your podcast, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, we're on YouTube, obviously, and we're all over the place. We've got like 1,000 different, streaming services. And, hey, your neighbor's dog, you should let him know to follow the podcast because he'll bark at us for sure. Thank you, folks. Have a great one.